Well, let's go ahead and go to our next segment. Welcome in our guests, and let me turn on all the microphones if y'all will get a little bit closer to those.
Don't be scared.
or pull that a little bit closer to you there.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Celina Bryant is here from Grammy's house, and Celina, we have you guys here because it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and you have different activities going on this month. And who did you bring with you today?
I brought some wonderful people from our staff, more of my seasoned staff that have been with me for a while. I'll introduce Shauna Pruitt, who runs our domestic violence offender intervention treatment program, parenting program, and she's also has recently taken over and started training to be shelter manager, and she comes to us with a lot of experience in the field. And then I'll introduce Darby Vernon. She's our financial person and our billing clerk, and she's been with Grammys for many years. So
okay, well, you want to start with Shauna?
Yeah,
and tell us a little bit about what you get to do.
I get to run the domestic violence offender program.
Okay.
We're currently doing classes over Zoom. And then I also run the parenting program, and we have 2 classes available, one in the evening, one in the afternoon. And I have currently, I want to say this month I've had 2 clients complete the parenting program. They always thank us for the program. They let us know that they have learned quite a bit from it. And then our domestic violence program, we currently have 1 coming up to complete, so we're looking forward to that for them.
So who takes that class?
The domestic violence offender program. That's going to be well, first of all, people that have been sentenced for a battery on a household member.
Okay.
They can be ordered through CYFD if their caseworker feels they would benefit from the program. And then we also have people that voluntarily come in and request the program. So it is open to anyone that feels they could benefit from it.
And you're having to do this on Zoom. Is this still the COVID-19 protocols that you're operating under with that? Okay.
It's a 52-week court-ordered program as well for anyone who comes in, and there's also a charge for that. We are a nonprofit, however, that is an offender treatment intervention program, so we are allowed to charge for that for intake and per session.
What are some of the topics or some of the areas that are addressed during this course that they take?
Quite a few, actually. We go over respecting your partner, and there's many ways of respecting your partner, such as, of course, verbally, physically. We go over addressing their anger cues. Quite a few people actually do not pay attention to their anger cues, so they learn from that, and they begin to see when they're getting angry so that they can walk away from that situation, take a time out, come back and discuss later on. And we discuss the parenting aspect of domestic violence with the children. We need to ensure that the children always feel safe in their home, and when there's domestic violence, that safety is taken away from the kids.
Right.
So we are trying to ensure that the children have a better home life so that they can react better out in public.
This is probably one of the more important programs that Grammy House offers is this intervention program.
You know, I'm so glad you said that. I'm going to jump in and touch on. She does a wonderful job with that program. We have male and female offender groups, and she comes to us with a lot of experience working in corrections, working with at-risk individuals. But you're absolutely right, because a lot of times we get asked, well, why is there a program like that? Well, if you don't address the offenders, that's basically saying there's not an issue. And we help the victims. That is our main primary focus. But this group needs a lot of attention, because in essence, it's changing the mindset. It's changing the mindset of an offender. It's not anger management, because when you change a mindset, you're changing the way people will think, the way people will behave, the way they'll choose to live their life. And this takes time. And anger management, sometimes there's anger management courses for like a month. This is a 52-week court-ordered program.
Right.
If they miss a week, they continue until they have completed 52 weeks. Not everybody finishes, but those that do, we've actually had success stories from men that have completed this program come back and share with the newcomers, the new people in the group, and females as well. The majority, and correct me if I'm wrong, Shauna, but the majority of the women in the program at one point in time were victims.
Yes.
And it's that cycle, again, changing the mindset. We want to help change mindsets of our victims as well. You know, those decisions and the choices, and sometimes it is difficult. You know, the big question is, why doesn't she just leave? Well, there's a lot of reasons why it's not that easy, but that's why we want to let the community know that we're here. Look up our programs. We have a website. We have it's grammyshouse.org, and we have Facebook, Grammy's House. Just look up Grammy's House, Artesia Domestic Violence Shelter. We're here. This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but I think every month should be Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Just be aware and don't be afraid. If you see someone that's having an issue, whether it's in the offender aspect of it or a victim aspect of it, don't be afraid to reach out and just say, hey, call these people, or what can I do to help? The dangerous thing is never put yourself in the middle of somebody else's issues. That's what we're here for, to help, to intervene, to provide resources. And if we can't, we'll point you to somebody that can help.
I was going to say, and Shauna, in conducting this program, you mentioned that there have been some success stories. I'm sure there have been some times when you've had to kind of walk away from some people and say, look, this is not working out. When that type of situation happens, do you have some additional resources that you can connect with or get involved in specific situations?
I have only had that once. If they're court-ordered, my resources are to reach out to their probation officer. If they're ordered through CYFD, I would reach out to their caseworker. We work really well together to keep them in line, and maybe that was not the right word to use. We work really well together to help them help themselves.
Right.
So we all of the agencies together, if we feel that somebody would benefit from counseling, we can refer them to counseling.
Right.
And a lot of times that does help. They'll start their counseling, and later they'll come back and be ready to complete the program.
Yeah.
So
that's got to be encouraging when you see that type of situation develop. And I'm going to assume now that this course is a part of their court order, whether it's CYFD or through the courts, that will have some significant bearing on whether or not the family can get back together again at some point in the future.
It does. A lot of times they'll have an active TRO, and normally until if there is an active TRO, normally they're not allowed contact. They may be allowed to visit with the children over the phone or via Zoom or you know, maybe meet up and, you know, switch the children. And then as they go through the program, the other agencies, they'll want to know how they're doing, you know, if they're improving, doing well.
Right.
And a lot of times, once those reports start coming in to the other agencies, then they are given a little leniency as far as visiting with the children or the victim.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's what the victim chooses.
I was going to say, I'm guessing the victim has probably the ultimate say-so in whether or not that type of advancement takes place. So, well, that's good to know that program is there, because I don't know how many, because people know that you have the shelter, but do they know that this is another one of the programs that's available through Grammy's house?
Yeah, and I'm glad. That's why I brought her here. We don't have a lot of financial backing with these programs, and agencies, DV agencies, along with the state coalition, continue to try to, you know, get more support out there, because these programs are needed. They're very important to this process and to the healing process as well.
Yes. So let's introduce Darby.
Darby Vernon.
Darby Vernon. So
yes.
What is your role at Grammy's house? What do you get to do?
Spreadsheets and statistics.
The fun stuff.
You stare at the other part of the computer screen all day.
Right.
So, well,
Put
it's
all
good.
their stuff together on spreadsheets.
On spreadsheets, so that Celina can then give her reports that she's supposed to give.
This is true. Some of that is, yeah.
You're there to make Celina look good when she does her presentations. Well, nobody's disagreeing
Or
with
at
that,
least
so.
that they're accurate.
They're accurate. That's great. How
Right.
did you get involved with Grammy's house? What brought you?
They hired me.
They hired you?
I was over 50, so that was like, you know, harder to be hired.
It's the best thing I did.
Yeah. So you were looking for a job and,
Right.
and applied and
Yes.
on board.
Experience.
What's been the experience? What's it been like working?
I had 30-something years of bookkeeping experience.
Prior to that, but what's been your experience? What's it been like working at Grammy's house?
Evolving with the position.
Yeah,
Because it
absolutely.
started out as kind of a backup to the bookkeeper at the time. And then it went to a billing clerk and back up to the bookkeeper. And like I said, it just kept evolving.
Yeah.
You just change with the way
The needs.
the needs change, whether they're policies or what. You just keep changing.
And your
with it.
agency evolves and you change, and you know, like for me, like I like to see potential, and if somebody has good skills, you know, they need to be utilized. That's what, you know, you want them to feel, you know, productive and use their skills, and then you see if they want to learn something else, and you provide that opportunity to enhance that, and makes a better working environment, better agency. It just, you know.
Yeah. No question about it. So, Celina, you touched on the funding aspect of it, and
The F word, funding.
but you do get some support from some of the Artesia Community Chest
Yes,
helps
yes.
out. The United Way helps out. But does the state come in and help out with some funding for this as well?
You know, yes, the state's like our biggest funder, and then we have a federal grants, we have private grants, we have, you know, like I said, county, local, state. But I'll say this on behalf of the state, is they have really pulled through during COVID, been supportive. They looked at the needs, not just for in-house, as in shelter, residential, COVID, PPE, all of that stuff, but they have pulled through to help us get funding, extra funding to provide support to staff, to provide to pay for hotels, motels, transportation. I mean, they have been really, really supportive and pulled through. We have some really good program managers that support us through the state, and we can call them when we need something. They've been wonderful. So I'll say that. It hasn't always been that way, but it is now, and we're very grateful. And we're grateful to this community as well for the support that we continue to receive from the people out there.
So when the agencies such as Artesia's Community Chest and United Way, when they start going around to businesses and communities and say, would you please make a donation, one of the agencies, one of the entities that really benefits from that is Grammy's House.
That helps us pay the bills, utilities, pay for groceries for the clients, and pay for programs and needs that the programs have, like for Zoom connections or internet connections. I mean, all of that money, it goes through the agency. It's spent very well, very quickly. Yes.
But wisely.
But wisely, yes,
That's
absolutely.
right. Now, it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Are there any additional events or days or things?
Yeah, I think today is support us, make a donation, whether it's donate some candy for Trick or Treat Main Street or make a monetary donation or just stop by and let us know that you support us. And next that Monday on the 25th, we're going to be live on Facebook.
Okay.
And that's going to be with our state coalition, so we'll be interviewed live, and that's nmcadv.org, but they have a Facebook as well. And we're in it, they'll profile the agency and the community. And then we'll be on the, I think it's the 30th with Main Street. We'll be actually set up in front of the Yates Holding, but come by. We'll give out information, but mostly candy. So and we're excited. We love the children. We, love having children and pets. And when we're at work, we do have the animal shelter as well. A kennel. It's a kennel. So,
Sure. So you mentioned the donations of the purchasing of the groceries. Pet food is a part of what you...
Always. We can never... I mean, we provide that for pets when they come in. We've had cats. We've had dogs. Have we ever had anything else? No, I don't think so.
No birds or fish?
No. We welcome them, though. We don't want them to witness abuse either,
Yeah, that's not a...
No.
Excellent. Well, very good. Well, it's grammyshouse.org if you want to go on the website. Celina, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Shauna Pruitt, thank you for coming in and talking about your program. And Darby, thank you for being here as well. And tell us what you do. Anything else?
No, thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank the community again. And give us a call if you need anything.
All right. Very good. We're going to